Let me tell you something that hit me like a freight train the day I finally understood it. The world does not reward the loudest voice, the man who wears every emotion on his sleeve, or the guy who answers every message the second it lights up his phone. What actually gets rewarded is the man who stays silent and keeps his mind ice-cold and crystal clear even when chaos is swirling all around him. I used to be that exposed man. Every little comment showed on my face. I reacted to every slight, spilled my thoughts before they were half formed, and gave away pieces of myself in conversations that did nothing but drain me. People took what they wanted, used it against me, and walked away without a second thought. I felt disposable, and that feeling burned. You do not have to keep living like that. There is one merciless equation that only a tiny number of men ever discover, and even fewer have the guts to live by. Silence plus a cold mind equals an untouchable aura. This is not theory. This is the exact reason certain men walk into any room and shift the entire energy without saying a single word. It separates the rare from the replaceable, the valuable from the forgotten, the untouchable from the easily broken. Hundreds of years ago, Machiavelli held up a mirror to the real world, not to scare anyone, but to force us to see the truth. Life is a battlefield of hidden motives, quiet power moves, and silent calculations. When you look in that mirror and learn to stay silent while keeping your mind sharp and steady, you stop being just another face in the crowd. You become something dangerous, not with fists or anger, but with pure presence, a heavy aura that arrives before you do and commands respect before you ever open your mouth. What I am walking you through right now is not another feel-good motivational talk that disappears by tomorrow morning. This is your private initiation, a complete blueprint that will change how you think, how you speak, how you move, and how the world is forced to respond to you. The price is simple but steep. Radical self-discipline and courage most men are simply not willing to pay. This path is not for everyone. Some will laugh it off and call it too cold. Others will feel attacked because it hits too close to home. But if you are done being overlooked and ready to become rare, you will feel the weight of every word coming next. If you are still here and something deep in your chest is already stirring, prove it to yourself right now. Type in the comments, "I am ready to solve the equation." Because right here, in this exact moment, the making of your untouchable aura has already begun. The noise is everywhere, and it is the silent killer most men never see coming. They talk non-stop in meetings, reply to every text instantly, and broadcast their dreams the second an idea sparks. Someone pushes a button and they explode, thinking it shows strength, while their respect quietly slips away. They vent on social media, chase validation in every chat, and then wonder why people stop taking them seriously. I lived that life for years. I remember the night I sent a reply I instantly regretted, heart pounding, knowing I had just handed someone ammunition. I remember the meeting where I defended myself too fast and watched my own insecurities get written on everyone's faces. Every unnecessary word, every knee-jerk reaction created a leak, and leaks are expensive. They cost you positioning, they cost you mystery, and they cost you control. When you speak first and react fastest, the world does not see passion. It sees a predictable man, a controllable man, a replaceable man. The more you explain yourself, the less they respect you. Most men don't lose because they're weak, they lose because they're visible. Machiavelli saw princes lose entire kingdoms, not because they lacked intelligence, but because they could not hold their tongue. The Stoics wrote the same truth in their private journals. The man who cannot govern his words will never govern his life. The man who follows this deeper path sees the game clearly. He has accepted a truth most will never swallow. Every extra word you speak is power you hand over for free. He listens more than he talks. He lets silence do the heavy lifting. While others perform for attention, he watches, observes, and builds in the dark. Silence is not emptiness, it is the fortress that guards his plans and the force that makes people feel his presence before he ever says a thing. If you can't sit in silence, you're not in control. You're addicted. The noise is still trying to pull you back in right now. Most men will stay trapped in it. You probably won't. Type in the comments right now, "Noise makes me weak. Silence makes me dangerous." Because the instant you choose restraint over reaction, the whole equation starts solving itself in your favor.
Truly cold mind is never about cruelty. It is the highest form of discipline any man can build. Most of us let every feeling run the show like a wild horse. You can train yourself to see emotions as nothing more than raw data. You learn to strip away the heat and the personal sting so you can look at any situation with steady eyes. That is the architecture of the cold mind. And once those walls go up, even your silence becomes lethal. Let me take you back to one moment that changed everything for me. I was in a meeting when a coworker openly questioned my work in front of the whole team. Everyone turned. He smirked. My blood boiled. The old me would have snapped back with something sharp that felt good for 3 seconds and cost me everything for the rest of the year. Instead, I felt the surge, took one slow breath, and asked myself the question most men never think to ask. What does this moment actually require from me? That single pause became the first solid brick in my inner fortress. I started mapping my own triggers in private. I listed every button that had ever been pushed. The fear of looking weak, the anger when someone cut me off, the sting of being overlooked. Knowing your weaknesses is not a flaw, it is armor. Once those triggers are mapped, no one can surprise you with them. You see the trap before it even closes. This is preparation that puts you 10 steps ahead. You build that inner fortress out of deep self-knowledge. Every decision inside it is calculated. You watch disrespect without reacting. You protect your long-term strategy instead of feeding your ego. With every choice, the cold mind grows denser and harder to shake. Your silence, now backed by that steady clarity, turns into a weapon that hits harder than any outburst ever could. Most men will never sit down and do this inner work. They would rather keep reacting and call it being authentic. But you are already different. You can feel the shift happening inside you right now. The noise is growing quieter. Your inner walls are rising higher. And when that cold mind finally meets true silence, something truly rare is born. Type in the comments right now, "My cold mind turns silence into power," because the foundation is now solid and the next layer of your untouchable aura is ready to rise. Silence has always been the sharpest weapon ever forged, yet most men never even pick it up. While warriors swung swords and kings built armies, the ones who truly shaped history often won through the quiet power of holding back.
I am not talking about the empty quiet that comes from fear. I am talking about the full, deliberate silence of a man who has decided his energy and time are too valuable to waste. Empty silence feels weak and hollow. Loaded silence is power itself. It fills the room with invisible pressure. People feel it even when they cannot name it. They are used to men who talk non-stop and defend every little point. Your choice to stay quiet leaves them off balance. You use this silence to keep your real plans completely hidden. When others know exactly what you want, they hold the map to your weak spots. By staying quiet, you burn that map before anyone can read it. Every word you choose not to say becomes information they can never use against you. Picture yourself in a high-stakes negotiation. Most men feel the tension and start talking fast, giving away too much. You stay perfectly still. The silence stretches. The other person begins to sweat and offers better terms just to break the pressure. Or imagine someone throwing a cutting remark at you in front of others. The old habit would be to fire back instantly. Now you hold steady. That calm quiet says more about your strength than any angry reply ever could. You sharpen this weapon with small daily practices. Listen twice as much as you speak. Pause on purpose when someone demands an answer. Hold new ideas close instead of announcing them. When feelings rise up, you let the silence absorb them. These choices are conscious acts of power that build mystery and guard your inner world. Silence isn't power by itself. In the wrong man, it's weakness, but in the man who has mastered the cold mind, it becomes the ultimate weapon. When that deliberate silence joins forces with the cold mind you have been building, a real transformation takes place. The cold mind stops emotional leaks. The silence stops informational leaks. Together, they create a heavy presence that people sense the moment you walk into a room. It earns respect without asking for it. Your energy alone changes the room, and the promise of an untouchable aura stops being a dream. It starts becoming real. Most men spend their whole lives afraid of that kind of quiet. They chase noise because it feels safe. You are choosing something deeper. Type in the comments right now, "My silence is my sharpest weapon," because the process is moving forward and your presence is already growing stronger than ever.
This is the moment everything finally clicks into place. When the cold mind you have been building finally meets the power of true silence, a deep change takes hold. It feels like chemistry, something permanent and unstoppable. The formula works, and an aura no one can touch begins to form inside you. The cold mind becomes your first unbreakable filter. It cuts off every emotional reaction before it can take control. Your thoughts settle into something clear and steady. Then silence becomes the second filter. It cuts off every unnecessary leak of information. When those two forces work together, they create a perfect seal. The result is a presence that carries real weight. You notice the shift in ordinary moments. I remember walking into rooms where I once felt nervous. Now I move with quiet certainty. People sense it immediately. Conversations slow. Eyes turn my way with natural respect. I have not said anything yet, but the whole atmosphere has already moved in my favor. Consider a direct challenge from someone who expects you to lose your cool. In the past, I would have jumped in fast, voice rising. Now the combination protects me. The cold mind watches without taking it personally. The silence holds firm. The lack of reaction unsettles them. My presence does the heavy lifting. The balance of power quietly flips. The same approach works in important negotiations. While others talk too much and give ground, I stay anchored. My silence makes the other side uncomfortable enough to reveal more than they planned. This is not trickery. It is the natural outcome of a man whose inner world is steady and whose words are measured. That steady presence becomes your new way of seeing yourself. It is the quiet strength of someone who has nothing left to prove. People feel you before they understand why. You become someone rare, someone valuable, someone harder and harder to reach. The change is complete. You now carry a quality most men will never develop. But understanding the formula is only the starting point. The true test comes when you take it out into everyday life. Type in the comments right now, "Silence and cold mind have fused inside me." The untouchable aura is no longer just an idea. It is starting to become the man you truly are. Now that the change has taken hold, the real work is learning to live it every single day. The aura does not show up in big, dramatic moments. It reveals itself in the small, steady choices you make from the time your feet hit the floor until you lay your head down at night. This is where the formula becomes your actual way of moving through the world. At work, I stopped announcing every idea the second it came to me. I spent quiet hours refining it until it was solid. When I finally shared it, the impact was undeniable. People who once overlooked me started asking for my thoughts. In meetings, I spoke only when it counted. Opportunities started coming my way because people respected what they could not easily predict. In my closer relationships, I learned to protect my deeper dreams. I no longer spilled every feeling. A partner noticed the calm shift in my energy. When tension came up, I stayed steady. They felt the weight of my presence and naturally adjusted. People began reaching out to me, drawn to the depth they sensed but could not fully reach. Out in larger social groups, I became more selective. I turned down invitations that once pulled me in. When I did arrive, the moment carried quiet impact. Friends noticed. The energy in the room seemed to gather around me. The aura grew stronger on its own. I no longer chased approval. I simply lived in a way that made others want to earn mine. I built small daily habits that kept the foundation strong. Every morning, I took a few quiet minutes to prepare my steady response. During the day, I practiced that intentional pause. In the evening, I sat alone and noticed the moments when my restraint created real advantage. I kept my bigger vision private, so outside doubts could never weaken it. This long-term way of thinking became my strongest protection. The modern world trains you to be loud and reactive. It throws distractions at you every day, trying to drag you back. But you guard what you have built. What you protect grows stronger. The men who live this way do not chase attention. They draw it naturally. Respect comes towards them, and doors open without desperate effort. You can see for yourself that the formula works once you start living it. The untouchable aura is no longer something you hope might happen someday. It is how you walk through each day. And with every choice you make, the change inside you keeps building unstoppable strength. Type in the comments right now, "I live the untouchable aura daily," because the final piece of your full transformation is right here, and nothing can hold back the man you have chosen to become. The change has settled deep inside you, and now you stand at the point of no return. The man who fully masters silence and a cold mind stops looking outside himself for approval or a place to belong. He simply becomes. He no longer runs after the attention of the world. Instead, the world has to adjust to the steady force he has become. This is not a short-term mood. This is a lasting shift that rewires how you exist in every situation and every decision you ever make. The formula has done its work, and the untouchable aura is no longer a goal. It is simply who you are now. You have laid the foundation. You have embraced the power of silence. You have lived through the moment when everything came together. Because you did the hard inner work that most men will never even attempt, you now carry a presence that leads without forcing and protects without needing to explain. You are the calm center that never wavers. This has become your permanent way of growing, an ongoing evolution that never stops because the daily practice itself has turned into the greatest reward. You belong with the rest of us now, part of the quiet group of men who refuse to settle for an ordinary life. This space was built for those who would actually listen and make real changes. So, if these words touched something deep inside you and woke up the stronger version of yourself you always knew was there, then let us make it official together. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss what comes next. This is part of a larger movement, and you were here at the start of it. Type in the comments one last time, silence plus cold mind equals my untouchable aura. Let everyone know exactly where you stand. The old version of you is already fading into the past. The rare, valuable, untouchable man you have become is here to stay. By the time they realize what you have become, you are already out of reach.